What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Slakks YouTube channel. Today we are jumping in to the TI10 group stage portion of TI. I'm very excited that TI is only one day away, so stay tuned for lots of TI content. But today's video, I'm going over my overall predictions and overview of the group stage portion and my overall opinions on all the teams competing in each group. Before I begin, I do want to say thank you guys as well for my previous 2 Dota videos that broke over 5,000 and over 1.2 thousand views, so I greatly appreciate that. I do want to provide a lot more Dota 2 content in the future, so definitely stay tuned for that, and comment down below to start a conversation and get my video into further eyes. We're going to jump on into Group A. I'm going to go over each individual team, and then I'm going to seed them, and we're going to just take it from there. So I'm going to start off with Alliance. I do think Alliance is a pretty decent team coming from the European region. Alliance definitely does have problems sometimes with drafting very similarly and not kind of changing the meta. They kind of revolve around very similar playstyles, and I do think that might affect them throughout TI. But overall, I think Alliance is a pretty decent team. Jumping down to Evil Geniuses, I think Evil Geniuses is going to be probably your strongest team out of Group A. There are other teams, I think, in Group A that will give them a run for their money, but I definitely think Group A is a lot easier than Group B. Evil Geniuses, I think they have a really interesting play style. They're very strong. They have probably the best, if not one of the best mid laners as of right now. Arteezy always plays fairly decent at TIs, and I think right now the meta kind of favors them a little bit more, the fact that there's a lot of characters that are playable. So I definitely would think EG is probably your Group A winner here. Invictus Gaming, I think they're kind of an underdog. I don't know if people actually necessarily know how good they are realistically. Their region is fairly strong, and I think at the beginning of the season they were doing really well, near the end of the season not so well, but I definitely do think Invictus Gaming will be, I think, a top 4 seed in this group, depending on how they play and how we see teams coming in after this new meta shift. Jumping down to OG, probably you're all going to say it, I did not think OG was going to make TI. I was very strongly opinionated on that, and they definitely showed up and they proved me wrong. I think OG is going to be one of the top 4 teams in the upper bracket seeding. I do think that they provide a lot in terms of just having good TI structure coming in, you know, in the previous 2 TIs and just showing up and proving a lot of people wrong. So I definitely think they have that behind them as well, playing like they have nothing against them, and I definitely think they will be a top 4 seed as well. T1, sorry. T1 is a unique team. I definitely think they're probably the weirdest structured team coming in, but I also think that favors them also because of the fact that they play so many different variations of styles of play. T1 was kind of a front runner in the SEA region throughout the entirety of the year, and I definitely do think they are also a top 4 upper bracket seeding out of Group A. Team Aster, again, I think they kind of had that beginning of the season heat coming down to the end of TI, and I think they definitely fell off very, very hard. A lot of their DPC points were at the beginning of the season, and I definitely don't think Team Aster is going to be a upper bracket seeded team. Solely off the fact that I think they started the season really, really well. They were probably a top 3 team at one point, dropping down to probably one of the weaker-ish teams coming into TI, so I definitely do not have them doing very well. Team Undying, the North American region winners, I think they're a decent team. I just don't know what they're going to do based on the teams that I've already mentioned. Thunder Predator as well, I don't really see them doing too much. The South American region is not the strongest necessarily, and I'm not chopping them down because of that, but I definitely don't see them having the best style of play in the Group A group. Based on the teams that they're playing. So I definitely do not have them doing very well. Virtus Pro, I think they're kind of a 50-50 team. I don't necessarily know if they're going to do really well, if they're going to do poorly. CIS region as a whole isn't very strong, but I definitely could see them possibly making the upper bracket and or being like a 5th or 6th in their group. So that is my overall opinion of each team in Group A, and here is my overall prediction of the group as a whole. I have EG, OG, T1, and Invictus Gaming from 1 to 4 for the upper bracket seeding, and for the lower bracket seeding, I have VP, Aster, Alliance, and Thunder Predator. and the eliminated team being Team Undying. I don't think Team Undying is accustomed to the teams that they will be playing just by themselves playing in the North American region, one of the weaker-ish regions as a whole comparative to all the other ones, and I just don't think they have what it takes to break through into the lower bracket seeding. Some people might say too that Team Aster, maybe even Thunder Predator being a South American region, might be also weaker teams, but I definitely do think Team Undying is the weakest team in Group A. Alright, so now we're going to jump on into Group B, similarly to what I did in Group A, starting off with Beast Coast. Beast Coast, I overall don't think they're going to do that well this TI. I think they are probably a lower seeded team out of the total teams here, and I just don't really see them doing all too much. I definitely do think they will pull off some upsets and or take some games off of some good teams, but I don't see them doing all that well this TI. Going down to Elephant. I think Elephant is probably the second best Chinese team here. I have them rated very highly on my overall tier list, and I definitely do think they will turn some heads this tournament. They have some of the best original Chinese players in all of Dota 2, so I definitely see them doing very, very well. Jumping down to Fnatic. Fnatic, I think, will turn some heads as well. I think they'll be probably a 4th and or 5th seed team. They might be able to break into the upper bracket seeding, and I definitely do think they're a very, very good Southeast Asian team. Dropping on down to PSG.LGD. Obviously, people are going to say that they're the #1 team. I have them as my original #1 team. You can go see that on my previous Dota 2 video. I definitely do think they will be the first seed in this bracket, and I definitely do think they will take Group B by a storm, and I don't see them losing very, very often. As I mentioned prior, I think Group B is probably your stronger bracket out of the two because you have some teams that could be middle and or upper seed. In terms of like Group A, you kind of already know who's going to be upper and lower bracket. But anyways, jumping on to Quincy Crew, I don't see North America doing all too well besides EG, to be honest with you. Quincy Crew has a lot of problems drafting, and I do have a lot of issues when it came to majors and minors that they competed in this year. They definitely did not do that well. I don't see them getting eliminated, but I don't see them doing very well, so I definitely would see them in the lower bracket. SG Esports is probably the weakest team here besides Beast Coast. Again, South American teams don't necessarily do all that good. Or all that well, sorry, at TI, and I kind of see the same thing here. I think they have the weakest playstyle in terms of playing the other teams in their bracket, and they kind of play the same similar comps, so I have them as probably the eliminated team. Team Secret, I think, will do very well. I have them seated as the second in the upper bracket. I definitely think Team Secret has problems in groups. They have had problems in groups prior to TI10. They've had it in TI9, TI8, and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that they do well because they're one of my favorite teams to watch. And then going to Team Spirit, I think Team Spirit will actually do fairly well here. I think they're a strong team in the CIS region. I definitely don't think they will be doing all too much, but I don't think they will be getting eliminated either. And we'll see if they can make a lower bracket run. Vici Gaming, another fairly strong team. I think they will do pretty well as well, and they will also be one of those teams that will teeter from upper bracket into lower bracket, and it'll just basically be coming on to who they beat and who they lose to. They're kind of like a 50-50 team, similar to Virtus Pro that I have in Group A, so I definitely think Vici Gaming will be a decent team to look out for in Group B. So there's my overview of each team in Group B, and here is my overall prediction of the group as a whole. I have LGD, Team Secret, Elephant, and Vici Gaming as the seeds 1 to 4 in the upper bracket, and in the lower bracket I have Fnatic, Quincy Crew, Team Spirit, and Beast Coast as the lower bracket seeds, and the eliminated team unfortunately is SG Esports. As I mentioned, I just don't think they have what it takes when they come down to playing all these very, very tough teams. Group B is definitely the group to watch out for. I think it is the stronger group out of the two, and the seeds can definitely sway at any point from upper and lower bracket, and I'm very excited to see what happens in Group B. So there's the overview of the TI10 group stage with my personal predictions. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let's start a Dota 2 conversation. Follow me also on twitter.com/slackskf, as I'll be tweeting a lot about TI10. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy TI10. Have a good night. Peace out.